You weren't supposed to find this video, but heaven made sure you did. Something's been heavy on your chest, but it's not anxiety. It's a divine signal, a warning, a rescue plan already in motion. And if you're still watching, it means it's for you. This isn't just a message, it's your lifeline. Don't scroll, don't miss it. God is about to intervene, but only if you're willing to hear what comes next. You can feel it, can't you? That strange heaviness, like you're holding your breath but you don't know why. There's been this pressure building inside you, a quiet chaos stirring just beneath the surface. You've tried to label it as stress, fatigue, maybe even burnout. But deep down, something in your soul knows better. This isn't just emotional static, it's divine interference. Heaven isn't whispering anymore, it's knocking. And if you've felt like you're standing still while everything around you shifts, it's because you are. You've reached the edge of something, and whether you move or freeze will determine everything. This isn't about religion, it's about alignment. The kind that shakes you out of routine and reminds you you're not meant to stay asleep. Something sacred is trying to get through, and it doesn't come with a warning label. It arrives like tension, like restlessness, like feeling completely out of place in the life you thought you wanted. The things that used to comfort you now feel foreign. The habits that once helped you cope suddenly leave you hollow. That's not confusion, it's clarity breaking through. And the longer you ignore it, the louder it gets. See, God doesn't always move with lightning bolts or burning bushes. Sometimes, his messages come wrapped in silence so thick it chokes your thoughts. And lately, that silence has been everywhere. Conversations feel shallow, music doesn't hit like it used to. You find yourself staring at the wall, scrolling through your phone, hoping for something to feel like something. But that numbness, that quiet ache, it's sacred. It's heaven pressing pause so you finally notice how misaligned you've become with your own spirit. What's wild is, you asked for this. Not with your words, maybe, but your soul cried out. In the sleepless nights, in the whispered prayers you barely believed, in the moments when you said, there has to be more than this. And heaven heard it, loud and clear, and now, God is answering. Not with comfort, but with disruption. Because breakthrough never arrives without first breaking what came before. And you, chosen one, are standing at the edge of that divine collapse. The kind that tears down everything false, so the truth finally has space to breathe. So let me ask you something raw and real. Are you actually ready for what you prayed for? Because the blessing isn't waiting on your perfection, it's waiting on your permission. And it doesn't arrive gently. It comes like a storm, like a spiritual earthquake that shakes you out of your excuses and back into your divine timeline. This is your moment. Not next week. Not once you've figured it all out. Now. And if you wait, if you hesitate, you risk missing the very shift you were born to walk through. Heaven is reaching for you, but you still have to reach back. There's something you need to understand right now. This isn't anxiety. That tightening in your chest, that whisper that won't leave you alone. It's God turning up the volume on what your spirit already knows. You're not supposed to keep walking like everything's fine, because it's not. Spiritually, you're standing in a threshold, one foot still planted in the old, the other hesitating at the edge of the new. That tension, it's holy. It's the exact moment before the veil is torn, before the heavens open wide and everything starts shifting, not around you, but inside you. You've outgrown the mindset that got you here, and now God is requiring more. Not more performance, more presence, more surrender, more willingness to let go of what no longer fits where He's taking you. You're in a moment where silence feels loud, where distractions don't numb like they used to. That's by design. God is stripping away the noise, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You asked for transformation, but did you think it would come easy? This is the fire before the gold, the pruning before the bloom, and it's lonely here. Let's be honest, It feels like everyone else is moving on with their lives while you're stuck, waiting, but you're not stuck. You're being rooted. And rooted things don't rise fast, they rise steady, quiet, deep. Before God does something through you, He's always going to do something in you. And that's what this pressure is. It's not breaking you, it's forming you. Your past self can't survive what's coming. That's why the discomfort has been intensifying. That's why old habits are suddenly repulsive. Why conversations that once thrilled you now feel hollow. God is detoxing your spirit from what dulled it. He's severing soul ties you didn't even realize were draining you. And every tear you've cried lately, they weren't weakness. They were release. They were prayers in liquid form. They were the body's final surrender to what the soul already agreed to. You're not losing your mind. You're shedding your skin. You're evolving beyond versions of yourself that were only meant to be temporary shelters, not permanent homes. Listen carefully. The dreams you carry are too sacred to be buried under hesitation. And heaven is not going to beg you to believe in yourself. That's your part. That's your leap. God has already greenlit the breakthrough. He's just waiting for your movement to match your faith. You keep asking for signs, but He's been sending them in songs, in moments, in gut feelings, in the timing of this very video. You're not watching this by chance. You've been summoned into awareness, into alignment, into action. So stop scrolling, stop second-guessing, start responding, because heaven is not passive, and neither should you be. Before we move deeper, take a sacred pause. Right now, put your hand on your chest and speak this aloud, not to impress, but to imprint. God, I'm done delaying. I align now. Say it like your soul means it, because this isn't a motivational high. This is divine recalibration. This is the unraveling of what no longer serves the sacred. And as you declare it, feel the shift. Feel how your chest opens, how the weight lifts, not because the problems vanished, but because your posture changed. That's what this season is about. Not escaping, but engaging differently. Not fighting harder, but surrendering deeper. And if that resonates with you, stay close. The next layer is going to hit deeper. You've been in survival mode for so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to breathe without bracing for the next hit. But that's about to change. The Spirit of God is not calling you to hustle your way into healing. He's calling you to exhale, to finally let go of that invisible weight you've been dragging for years. The expectations, the guilt, the silence. You don't have to keep pretending you're fine just because you're functioning. God isn't fooled by your strength. He's moved by your surrender. And right now, He's creating a crack in your timeline where grace can seep in, not to fix you, but to free you. You see, there's something sacred happening beneath the surface. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's subtle, like a string inside your soul being tuned to a frequency you didn't know you could reach. That's why nothing feels the same. Why the old comforts don't work anymore. God is rewiring your appetite, not just for what you consume, but for what you believe about yourself. Because He knows that if He doesn't change your beliefs, you'll sabotage the blessings. And what's coming is too holy to be tainted by self-doubt. That's why this season hurts. It's a detox, a purge of every lie that ever told you you're not ready, not worthy, not enough. So if you've been waking up heavy, walking around foggy, or suddenly crying without knowing why, don't panic. That's not weakness. That's alignment. You're being recalibrated for impact. Heaven is digging out the debris to make room for destiny. It's not chaos, it's construction. The scaffolding of your next level is being built in the silence, in the stretch, in the ache. And I know it feels messy, unclear, unfair. But God doesn't need you to understand right now. He just needs you to stay soft, stay open, stay expectant. Because the shift you've been praying for is closer than your fear wants you to believe. Here's what I want you to remember. Spiritual growth never looks clean in the middle. It looks like confusion. It feels like pressure. And it sounds like silence. But silence doesn't mean absence. God is loudest in the quiet. His power hides in stillness. And just because you don't hear him the way you used to, doesn't mean he's not speaking. It means he's stretching your spirit to hear in new ways. You're evolving. And evolution always comes with resistance. So breathe. Don't fight the tension. Use it. Let it press you into the presence of the one who already knows how this ends, in glory, in victory, in divine timing. Now pause. Before you scroll, before you think, I'll come back to this later, do something different. Choose presence over procrastination. Type in the comments, God, I'm awake now. Let heaven know you're paying attention. That you're done sleeping on yourself. That you're ready for the discomfort of destiny. Because if you can stand still in this moment, right here, right now, you'll feel it. The quiet roar of breakthrough, rising up in your chest like a second heartbeat. That's not emotion, that's confirmation. God is moving, and you're finally in rhythm with it. There's a sacred tension rising right now, not to paralyze you, but to prepare you. You're standing in the in-between, no longer who you were, but not yet who you're becoming. And that space? It's holy. Most people rush through it. They numb it, distract themselves, call it confusion, but you're being asked to stay awake in it. Because this tension isn't here to destroy you. It's here to form you. God isn't testing your strength. He's testing your sensitivity. Can you sense him even when he's silent? Can you trust him when the map fades and all you have is the compass in your chest? You've been taught that breakthrough is always loud, trumpets, lightning, shouting. But in the spirit realm, some of the most violent shifts happen in stillness. What you're feeling right now, that quiet ache that won't leave your chest, that strange sense of urgency with no clear reason, that spiritual movement. Heaven is rearranging things on your behalf, and your only job is not to run, not to explain it away. Just stay. Stay with the pain long enough to find its purpose. Stay with the questions long enough for heaven to start answering in symbols, signs, and whispers. Because the answers don't always come in words. They come in alignment. And yes, it's scary. Of course it is. You're being asked to surrender what's familiar for what's sacred. That relationship you know isn't feeding you anymore. That routine that's killing your spirit. That identity that used to keep you safe, but now feels like a cage. God is not punishing you by removing it. He's making room. You prayed for new dimensions, but did you think the old ones would stay intact? They have to collapse. And the collapse always feels like loss before it feels like liberation. But trust me, chosen one, freedom is worth the fire. Let me speak to your soul right now. You are not being left behind. You are being set apart. God is isolating you for intimacy. So if the phone's gone quiet, if the invite stopped coming, if you're walking alone in this season, that's not rejection. That's divine insulation. He's cutting out the noise so you can finally hear the call. And yes, your heart is breaking, but not because you're broken, because the shell around your next level is cracking. Let it crack. Let it crumble. The future you've been praying for doesn't live in that shell anymore. Before we move forward, I want you to do something bold. Type in the comments, I trust the shift. Say it even if your voice is shaking. Say it even if your hands are trembling. Because something happens when your mouth agrees with your miracle. The atmosphere shifts, the fear loosens its grip, and heaven takes notice. This isn't just engagement, this is alignment. And the more you agree with what God is doing, the faster your next dimension opens. Don't just listen to this, respond to it. Because your faith is loud in the spirit. And right now, it's being recorded. So now, breathe with me. Slow, deep, intentional. Let the noise fade, let the pressure melt into presence. Because what you're stepping into next doesn't require more hustle. It requires more awareness. You are not being rushed. You are being recalibrated. And the shift is already in motion. You feel it, don't you? That gentle buzzing under your skin? That quiet certainty wrapped in mystery? That's not anxiety, that's activation. Heaven has chosen you for something that can't be downloaded into the mind. It has to be lived through the soul. This is your consecration season. The phase where God strips away what doesn't belong and reveals the blueprint only your spirit can recognize. And listen, it's going to be uncomfortable. You'll grieve the things you thought you needed. You'll question everything you used to stand on. You'll want to cling to old definitions of safety, but you can't. Not anymore. Because you've already outgrown the world that once made sense. And the next version of you? She doesn't fit in the past. She was never meant to blend in. She was born to build something no one else sees, until you step into it first. The next 24 hours matter more than you think. There are decisions you're going to make without even realizing they're divine. A yes, a number A step away, a step forward. And in that obedience, however quiet, you're going to unlock a sequence of heavenly instructions that will unfold like dominoes. And suddenly, what felt stuck will begin to move. You won't be able to explain it, but doors will open. Conversations will align. And the fog will lift just long enough for you to walk through the next gate with peace.